Buongiorno. Welcome to Infinite Voyage, where not only can you travel the world with us, but expand your mind as well. Out of every mystery ever discovered and discussed, not yet on this channel, but soon, some are set to a different standard where there is cold, hard evidence confirming its existence, actually only an arm length away, yet mystery clouds everything that defines it. The Voynich manuscript has been branded as the most mysterious book in the world, rediscovered in central Italy somewhere near Rome, measuring at only roughly 20 centimeters by 16 centimeters. This ancient manuscript has stumped some of the world's greatest minds for supposedly centuries. You may ask yourself why this book has managed to dumbfound some of the world's greatest minds and decoders, as well as modern technology. Well, the secret lies within. This book has been broken down into 6 individual sections. The first section would be the botanical section. This section contains elaborate drawings of 113 unidentifiable plant species, along with indecipherable text. The text will be a common theme throughout the book, as some appear to be explanations for the drawings, but of course, had it been in an existent language, it would have been too easy. This section usually contains 1 or 2 plant drawings per page, with some actually duplicated later on in the book, but highlighted in a specific manner. Moving along, we have what is known as the astronomical section of the book. This chapter contains drawings of zodiac symbols, the sun, stars, and natal charts, alongside of drawings of nymphs. Nymphs originated from Greek history and are mythological nature spirits embodying natural fixtures such as rivers, trees, rocks, and other things. If I have any Percy Jackson fans, make sure to smash the like button. If you're not a fan, still smash the like button for future videos, which might be more of your liking. You will find drawings of these nymphs surrounding the depictions of the solar objects as well as the zodiac symbols. Interestingly, it is said that this section is missing its last 2 pages, which would have contained the Aquarius and the Capricorn symbol. Next up in the Voynich manuscript is what is known as the biological section of the book. This chapter contains strange anatomical drawings, more nymphs, women, and specific body parts connected by tubes. Oddly, all female and nymph depictions are either drawn in a washtub or around one. There are also people who have managed to render a modernized version of the specific organ drawings, now that we have accurate X-ray diagrams of actual organs and readily available, and the precision for the times the drawings were supposedly created is uncanny. Note that the experts have placed the creation of the book somewhere between the year 1450 and the 1500s, and the discovery of the X-ray wasn't until 1895. Section 4. This is what is known as the cosmological section. This chapter is home to a series of unexplained circular drawings alongside of possible geographical designs. Within this chapter, you'll find 9 spherical medallions. Unfortunately, I was not able to get actual pictures due to licensing issues, but I 1000% recommend you look them up. These elaborate medallions are truly a sight to see, with the famously undecipherable text woven throughout the medallions, each surrounding a beautiful cosmological figure. The spherical design is a common composition seen throughout the book in various sections. Section 5, Pharmaceutical. This chapter contains exquisite illustrations of over 100 medicinal plants, with some oddly drawn inside of jars. Although you may ask yourself what makes this section different than the plant-filled drawing botanical section number 1, is the fact that experts have been able to identify some of the plants, as well as their known history associated with medicinal purposes. Although it is the general consensus that this section is the pharmaceutical part of the book, there is still a large group of people who refuse to give the reasoning any credibility, which leads to the text within these pages. Some argue that because of the pictures and the context, they have identified the language utilized. But have they? This leads to the final section of this manuscript, and of course, this has to be the most controversial. Its contents are unknown. Some argue that it is a recipe section. Regardless, it is interesting to note that each paragraph starts with its own drawing of a star. The reason this section has stumped most people is due to the fact that it contains little to no context throughout the chapter, with the majority of its pages filled with text that have yet to be translated. This had led people to speculate its text's meaning. From ancient prayers to recipes, this chapter is still one of the bigger questions within an already mysterious book. Tracing its history. This is where details can become a little murky. Like all myths and mysteries, some details seemed like concrete facts can end up disputed or even flat out disproven. The Voynich manuscript is no exception. Its history is filled with potholes and missing concrete details. Its story starts off in the hands of one John Dee, somewhere in the 1500s. From him, there are actual records that reveal that the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II bought the book for only 600 gold ducats, believing that the manuscript was written by one Roger Bacon, who had written similar texts before. We'll get to that little last detail later on in the video. This book seemed to have kept in the Holy Roman Emperor's possession for some time, until it was passed down to one Jacobi de Tepanex. This exchange was actually unknown until experts shone a black light onto the manuscript, revealing text invisible to the naked eye. From Jacobi, the book then lands in an imperial physician named Johannes Marcus Marquis of Cromlin, who held on to it before giving it to one Athanasius Kircher, a Jesuit scholar who worked in the very same Italian college near Rome, which started off this entire story. It is said that there, his tenure working there, he hid it within the library for reasons unknown, where the book remained for about 250 years. The year was 1912, 250 years later, after the book was stored away, when one Wilfred M. Voynich found the book in the library. After noticing how truly special the book was, he was actually able to purchase the book from the library and held on to it until his unfortunate death. That meant the book was then given to his wife, who held on to it for many years as well. Very safely hidden, might I add. It wasn't until her unfortunate death as well that the book left the Voynich family. And since Miss Ethel Voynich, Mr. Voynich's wife, did not have any other beneficiaries, the book was given to a longtime friend of hers who had never even heard of the mysterious book. The longtime friend eventually went on to sell the book with supposedly the written consent of one Ethel Voynich, who signed on to it before her death. It was sold to a rare book collector who supposedly only bought the book fully expecting to resell it for a major profit. After various attempts and failures, he finally decided to donate the book to Yale University in 1969, where it resides to this date in the Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library. Questions. Where did the book come from? In a letter found within the famed manuscript, it credits a Roger Bacon for creating the book, if you guys recall early on in the video. Having created similar works, this is hugely accepted in the history of the Voynich manuscript saga. As with all mysteries, however, it is difficult to come to one universal conclusion. So although to some, the Franciscan friar Roger Bacon is the creator, there are some who have documented the fact that he lived from 1214 to 1294. Why this is leveraged against the theory that Roger Bacon created the manuscript is because the experts have stated due to the paper and extensive research and tests, that the book was created between the years 1450 and the 1500s, at least 156 years after the death of Roger Bacon. I would be lying to say there were no theories that the Voynich manuscript was all a hoax. There are some who thoroughly believe that Wilfred M. Voynich forged the book himself. I personally choose not to believe that theory because I have plenty of faith in the countless of experts who have inspected and tested the book, and there is one huge difference between the book's origin and where it's dated between 1450 and the 1500s and 1912 when the book was found. Of course, with all mysteries, I strongly suggest you do your own research and see what you find. It might interest you a lot. What is it? Honestly, if it had been discovered, this video would be much less interesting. The theories range from an encrypted version of Roger Bacon's scientific research and discoveries, to an ancient prayer book, to knowledge and notes taken about or from extraterrestrial beings. Of course, there are valid reasonings that can back each of these theories. So like I said earlier, conduct your own research, Google the pictures. Believe me, this book will not disappoint. Some have claimed to have unlocked the secrets which lay within the book, but are ultimately only able to scratch the surface, with no true word-for-word translation been discovered. Whatever was written in the book was meant to stump even the greatest minds for centuries. Hoax or no hoax, it is safe to say that this book has done exactly that. What do you think lies within the mysterious pages? Did we miss anything? Make sure to subscribe and smash the like button, and remember, this is only the beginning.